My name is Keith Andrew, and I am the KeithAndrewNetwork champion. And you're probably wondering why I have this belt. The whole point of this belt and my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. That labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And you should just prove to them, hey, you may label me as handicapped, retarded, deaf, blind, but those labels are not going to dictate my life and how I'm going to live it. So this belt, it's basically, on behalf of my network, it's saying it's a symbol of excellence. It's basically saying, don't ever have people label you and try to bring you down. You should prove to them you can still amount to something. With that being said, a half hour every time. I know you're short on time, so we're going to do a special half-hour interview. With that being said, starting off, what can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, God, what do you want to know? Let's see, I was born in Georgia. My mom came over from Vietnam, so my parents met in the Vietnam War, and I was raised in South Georgia, and I'm sure you can probably hear my accent, but it's not as thick as it used to be, and lots of life between now and when I was born. I was in corporate America for a long time, and big life change altering situation, and then I decided life was too short to not pursue your passions. And I guess about 2009, I think. Was it 2009? Yeah, I went to acting school in New York, and my life has been different ever since. So finally got out of corporate America and trying to, make it without having to take that route again.
No, absolutely. Now, in a couple minutes, I'm going to ask you about your career. I'm going to ask you the easy questions, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you. But starting off, what can you say about your education when you were growing up? Do you miss high school and college? Were you a study nerd or party animal?
Ooh, I don't think I was either. In high school, most of my high school outwardly probably looked very pleasant to people. I was very involved in school, but I think inwardly I wasn't very happy. So I was able to get by without studying, and I made really good grades, but I wasn't someone that buried my nose in the books. Now, with that being said, I wasn't some kind of genius who would hear something once and then I never had to study when I heard it. Therefore, when I went to college, I didn't have good study habits, and so I really struggled in college. But I did. I worked my way through college. I had a lot of jobs in college because I paid for my own college, and I went to school here in Georgia and got a business degree with an emphasis in accounting, and did that for a little while. And I just knew that wasn't for me, but I just did it because it felt like the thing to do because I knew I could get a job. And that's what happened. And so I did that, and I did that for a few years and realized that was not my life path. And then I went into sales, and then from there, that's where I kind of worked for pharmaceutical companies, medical device companies, people in the medical industry, and kind of went through life with a little bit of blinders on because it paid well. It was a very well-paying job and a lot of great benefits, and I didn't really get the bigger picture of life and what was going on. And so that's where I was for a very long time and stuck there. And I did have this sense of like, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't, why am I still unhappy? Why does life still feel unfulfilled? I have this, great career, but yet I just am not happy inside.
I hear you. What about, did you ever get the chance to do any sports? Were you athletic?
I was. In high school, where I went to school in South Georgia, girls either played softball, basketball, ran track, if you had a family that was affluent, you played tennis because all the tennis courts back then were mostly in the private clubs, and or you cheered. So I was a cheerleader and I played softball, and this was slow pitch. I don't even know if they play slow pitch in high school anymore at all, but I know at my high school they didn't. And, I kind of came on at the beginning of like the competitive cheerleading. If you watch like the ESPN cheerleading competitions every now and then, you'll actually see my high school on there, but it's like a whole other ball game what they're doing now versus when I was there. And then when I went to college, I tried out for like the little dance squad. And I got on, but I don't know that I got on because I was the world's greatest dancer. I just don't know if they had a lot of girls trying out. But it wasn't something I pursued. I played intramural sports. I was in a sorority, and I was the little sister to a fraternity and all that kind of stuff. So I did more like flag football, and then I played softball then. And then just really after that, I don't know that I really played a lot of organized sports, but in Atlanta, there's a huge tennis community. It was something I always wanted to learn how to play. So later in life, I did take up tennis for a little while, and I loved it, but I ended up moving to the Northeast, and I was not going to play tennis in snow. So the tennis racket didn't stay in the hand very long.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Now, when are you met in the Northeast? Did you move to the Northeast, or are you just visiting the Northeast?
No, I moved to the Northeast in 2005. And I was in Philadelphia for 6 years, I think, and then I moved to New York City. And then I just recently, in the last few months, moved back to Georgia, to Atlanta, which is kind of what I always called home for a long time.
Do you have any regrets moving back, or are you happy where you are?
No, I mean, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you I miss New York. Right now, I'm not missing it because it is sunny and it's 70 here. There's a lot going on in Atlanta. I have a really great agent. I have just as many auditions here of the same caliber that I was getting in New York. And so I'm really happy. But, at some point, I do realize I'm going to have to either move back to New York or move out west. And I really do like the West Coast. I love California. So when that time comes up, I'll make the decision then. But right now, so much is happening for me in Atlanta that I don't regret being here because I feel like I'm supposed to be here. But it doesn't mean that I don't miss, New York and all my New York friends and all the things, it's New York, Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, what are you going to say?
Well, if you're ever in New York, we should definitely hang out, get lunch or something.
That would be fun. I would totally be up for that.
Now, for what part of New York? Were you like city base, or were you on the outer west?
I actually had to live in Jersey City because at the time, my corporate job, I had to have a Jersey address. So I was in Jersey City. So I was literally one stop before. I was the last stop on the path. I was the first stop on the path, coming out of the city, and it literally took me like 15 minutes to get into the city. So my commute was much quicker than my friends in Brooklyn. So it's so funny how Jersey gets a bad rap. But no, I was looking to move to Brooklyn before I left, and I was going to live in Brooklyn. I really liked Brooklyn. I just really I had a lot of friends that lived in Brooklyn and loved it. But I just it was like that there was something in the universe telling me it just wasn't my time to stay. Show that I was working on fell apart, and the apartment that I had just moved into in Jersey City was being sold, and I had not even been there for 7-8 months. And so, you know what it's like moving there. It's like buying a house. I mean, you go through an approval process that it's much different to rent in New York than it is in Atlanta. It's literally like buying a house. Like you have to kind of, there's a lot of finance involved. There's a lot of paper process involved, and I just felt like, okay, there's something telling me this is not my place right now. So, and then when I came back to Atlanta, it was like everything was it just all was laid out for me. I mean, I just basically had to show up. So,
I hear you. Now, for me, for New York,
I was a West Side girl. I was always on the West Side.
Well, as long as you're in a good area, it doesn't really matter east or west.
Yeah.
But for me, for New York, I keep screwing this up. I think it's 2 hours. Yeah, I have to ask my dad because I keep screwing it up. It's either 2 hours east or 2 hours north. I think we're 2 hours north from the city. We're near West Point.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually, it's funny enough, I'm on the border of two borders of my house. When you go to my neighbor's house, that starts Chester. So my house is on the border of Chester and Monroe. And also we're on the border of New Jersey, North New Jersey. So, for me, if I want to go to the city, I would take Metro North from Harriman train station, and then I would go to Hoboken, and then I would have to transfer from Hoboken to another train. It would be so much.
Did you take the transit or did you take the path?
I don't really take the train that much. I want to, but after the 2 accidents so far, I'm like, I'm happy I don't take the train. They really need to get that under control. I don't know what the hell is going on.
I get it.
But the next thing I was going to ask you is, did he ever get the chance to go to Woodbury Commons?
I did not. No, there were a lot of things that I will say this. Anybody that's watching that keeps saying that's in New York, I'll do that later. I'll do that later.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it now because you'll never. You never know when you're leaving. It's kind of like that. It's like you never know when you could be leaving, and so I never went. No. No,
when you mean leaving as in you gotta get up and leave, or leaving as in you're going to die?
Well, it could be both. But it was just one of those things that I kept going. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'll get there. And then it's not like I'm never going to come back to New York. It's just my time there now is very limited when I go because it's going to be on a visiting basis until I'm at a place where I move back. But life is different for me now down here, and just the pace has been much easier on my body. The cost of living has been much easier on my pocketbook. But it's just. I just know I'm not going to be back anytime soon to live, as in like in the next year. So
Now we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we come back and ask you some more hard-hitting questions.
No problem.
And then I'm gonna pass it back over to you.
Message for yourself or as a gift for someone else. For personal connections, shout-outs, birthdays, proposals, weddings, and much more. Enter your details about yourself so the celebrity can record a personal video message especially for you, including details such as your name, age, birthday, hobbies, or whatever else you include. As soon as the video has been recorded, you'll get an email with your link so you can share it on social media or download and keep it. Celebrities record videos as and when they can, usually within 2 weeks. But if you want a video for a specific date and it does not look like it will arrive in time, you can cancel it and get an instant refund at the click of a button. There are hundreds of celebrities to choose from and many more joining every day. Search by category or genre. Buy a gift voucher, get updates and offers, and encourage your favorite celebrities to join so they can connect with fans in a fun and unique way. Raise money for their charities and much more. So order your video now for yourself or for someone else.
I'm so bored.
Want to see something really cool?
Yeah!
Now you'll never be bored again with Loot Crate, a totally bodacious mystery box packed with awesome toys, radical games, and other surprises. And the best part is, you can get Loot Crate delivered right to your door. So don't delay. Ask your parents and order today.
Everything okay in there? Yeah, everything great. I love Loot Crate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 305. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Sondra Hunt, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you for having me, honey. It's a pleasure. My treat. I mean, I'm happy to do it.
No, absolutely. And the first question I was going to ask you is for people who want to break into the entertainment business. Use me for a perfect example. The first question is, does social media dictate if you should get this part and should people look at you? That's number one. And number two, how did you break into the entertainment business?
I'm still breaking. I'm still breaking in. I don't know. The social media thing is very odd to me. I don't know of anyone that's ever gotten a major part because they had a great social media following. Have I known people to book things like commercials or more print work and stuff because they have a media following? Yes. As far as being a good actor, I don't know that your social media has anything to do with your acting. I loved the show Breaking Bad, and I look at that kid on Breaking Bad and what he was able to do on that show, and I don't know that he broke in because of his social media account. I've never been called in for an audition because of my Facebook or that I'm aware of. If it was, I was certainly not told that. Now, I do think social media can do this. I think if you get on places like Facebook or, which seems to be the largest platform, the most commonly used platform, and where people can put a lot more words, and you go on there and you're negative and you bash and you talk, I think it can hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always tell everybody, if a casting director has never worked with you. I've been to several. I'm sorry about the dinging. I've yet to figure out.
Hey, it's live. Anything can happen.
I don't know that. I have known casting directors to go look at your Facebook to see what type of person you are outwardly. Yeah. And if you're someone that gets on there and you talk about how awful the business is, or how awful it is to work with such and such, and why, and you're just venting venom, you're spewing venom, I know it can hurt you. But as far as me, I don't use social media as my platform for my acting. I've used it to promote things like my radio show, only because that we stream live, and I've used it to promote a positive platform for other things that I do, like my healing business. But as far as my acting, I just feel like the acting is the acting, and until you're in that room or until you're on tape and you're in front of the people that are making that call, that's really what's going to get you a job. I don't know that I would want an acting job based on what I put out there outwardly.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you would either. I mean, you want them to want you because of you and what you're bringing to the table, because no one else can bring what you're bringing to the table because you're unique and special.
No, absolutely. I got people keep baxing me. It's really pissing me off. Like it says, uncensored freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of self-expression, say what you want. So if you want to vent, you're more than welcome to. But what pisses me off is people saying to me, what is your social media? What is your following? Are you going to pay me for my time? And I'm like, okay, let's break it down. 1, I'm handicapped, the R word, and I'm learning disability, disabled. You understand that? Yes. Okay, perfect. 2, when you do and this is not directed at you, I'm just saying this is what I've been told over the 3.5 years. Like I said, I don't mean to bitch to you, but I'm just being completely honest. That's number 1. 2 is that people say to me, you have to pay me for my time. And I'm like, okay, even though it's a good message and cause, I don't understand why I have to pay you. And 3, I got this from whatever company, I think it was WWE or something. If John Cena was to be on your show, can you guarantee us 1 million followers? Well, 1, he has to promote himself. 1, I have to promote him. I'm going to share the word with everyone I know. I'm going to promote the hell out of it. It's got to be a great interview. It's got to be a fun interview. making a new friend, supporting a good cause. Yeah, but John Cena's a big star. I mean, we really want those millions of people. And I'm like, or they say, oh, well, let's try a different approach. Pay us $600 and then we will do it. And I'm like, what part of what I'm doing is it registering? It's like Full Metal Jacket. It's like, what is your malfunction? It's like, what is your malfunction? It's like, what do I need? Do I have to spit nickels out at you? Do I have to just spin my head around just to get a knowledge? I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Yeah, I don't mean to vent to you, but it's just like...
the way I would look at it is, money's an energy exchange, right? Like, I'm giving you time, therefore, in return, you give me this. It's an exchange of energy. It just happens to be something that we can feel and touch. And, I guess the way I would take that challenge, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. It's something in the universe is trying to challenge you to step up, right? So, instead of being where I am, what do I need to change about me or my show or whatever to step it up to the next level so that these people will come to me? You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I feel a lot of us get stuck, because we're kind of like, we want to, there's a lot of comfort in staying where we are, right? There's a lot of discomfort in moving forward and pushing through the resistance and making huge steps, and especially when it comes to money, because you have to see it as an investment in yourself and in what it is that you're trying to do. So if you can somehow get your show more visible, or whatever it is, and I'm not talking about your show specifically, but anyone out there, there are ways to get paid, and take courses that can show you how to do those things. There are people every day that are in a way different place today than they were a year ago. Yeah. Financially, visibility, all of that stuff. And I would just, I would say, okay, this is a challenge that, all right, they want me to be they want the show to be at this caliber before they come on. I'll show them, and that's kind of how you have to look at it. Because I went in one time to audition I went to a agent night at one of those acting cottages. I'm 43, and I don't look 20, for sure, but I go in and I know that I did a really good job. Yeah. In this one particular room. The other room, not so much. And the guy was like, "You did great. You look great." Not meaning just I was dressed for the part very well. He's like, "I just don't know what to do with you because of your age, and you don't have this, this, and this." And I was like, "Yeah, I've saved that comment so that one day I'm going to say, and I'm going to read it, in a place one day, and I'm like, thank you." Not I'm not going to get mad at. I'm not mad at him. I'm thanking him for pushing me forward, for trying to make. I don't want to use the word stronger because it's as if you're weak, but I'm going to go out and be so big that you're going to come to me at a point that you can't turn me down. Do you know what I mean? It's like Michael Jordan. He didn't make, everybody's heard that story. If you were ever a Michael Jordan fan or were privileged enough to grow up in an era where you got to see him play, he may be the best athlete ever to a lot of people. He was cut from the basketball team his freshman year. So what did that do? Instead of it making him want to quit or, go in a corner and cry, he became so good that he would never let that happen to him again. And that happened to me at a young age, where I didn't make the cheerleading squad. And I was like, I'm going to be so good that they can never not pick me again. And I think if you can come from that mentality, the world is your oyster. I always say thank your lessons. Thank your lessons, because they really are. And when someone tells you that you don't have enough followers or you've got to pay us and you're not in a place right now, just say, thank you. You're letting me know where I need to get.
No, I agree with you. Now, I'll ask you one more hard-hitting question.
No problem.
I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you want, gloves off. But the first one I'm going to ask you is, what were the steps that you had to take, number one? And for people who want to follow in your footsteps, what would your steps be?
My steps to...
Your acting career.
Oh. Well, I would definitely say there is such thing as natural talent, right? Some people are just born with that channel open. However, I don't think that you'll get... the masses are not going to be just, show up in Times Square and then life falls in your lap. I mean, maybe if it happens for you, that's awesome. Tell me your secret. I would say get into a really good acting school. Get into a school where you are happy to be there. Don't go to an acting school just for the sake of going to an acting school. Make sure you're getting something out of it. Take it seriously as a craft. Always, keep working on it. Be prepared. I last year I was like, I cannot take another acting lesson. So what I did was I went into training for voiceover work because that was not a skill set that I had. There are a lot of facets to acting, so always keep that muscle. It's like a muscle. It's like anything that you do. Keep that muscle working. I think the other thing is talk to working actors. Don't bug them and like, get me a job. Just always talk to people about what did they do. And there are a lot of talented people, particularly in New York, that are actors. But there are a lot of them that, don't have the careers that they want, and my career's not where I want it to be. But I tell you what, I think the biggest difference between someone that's really booking and not booking is their professionalism and how they show up. And do the inner work so that when you walk in a room, you radiate. And it's because I think 9 times out of 10 when you walk in a casting office, they know right then if they want to cast you. Because it's a look that they're going, they're like, okay, we need her to be a brunette. We need her to be soft, or we need her to be edgy. You have that walking in the room before you even open your mouth. So the only thing that you're hoping for after that is that they're thinking, God, I hope she can act, right? Because I think a lot of times it's cast before we even realize it. And then it's like, Bryan Cranston says, give them your best 2-minute performance. It's your chance to act for that day and then leave, because you never know, that part may get cut. It may switch. For me, I've had things switch to a man. I've had things switch to a different ethnicity. And those are things they're out of my control. And it is what it is. So be the best version of you. And I think that's a lot of self-development work outside of acting. And I think the last part of it is you have to learn to not be attached to the outcome. If you've done everything that you can do, you know that you prepared, you're constantly connected to your divine higher self, doing what you can. And then you just got to trust. I was just talking to a friend of mine today, and he has auditioned for a show 8 times. It's his 8th time. So the thing is, it's like, we know the show wants him, right? They just haven't found which role they want him for. And so book the room. So always go in and book the room. Don't be attached to that one part you want so bad. Just go in and book the room. I've booked more work from booking the room than I've ever from booking a part.
No, absolutely. She said it is what it is, and I just started to laugh. I think I hate being told that, but I can say that to people, but when someone says it to me, it just drives me out the wall. But the one thing I didn't ask you before is, what were some of your favorite extras or works you did? And have you ever worked with any big name stars? Then what's this last question? I'm passing it to you.
What was some of the biggest, what was my favorite work that I've done?
What was your favorite roles and some of the favorite stars you worked with and extras?
Most of the things that I've loved were theater. Everything I've ever done for theater. I had a role as in a one-act play that was written by William Folks, and he then wrote me a part, or asked me to play a part in a full length after the one woman. It was kind of like a one woman show where 2 people came in, and that was a lot of fun for me because it was the first time I ever had to carry something by myself. And it was about a woman who stands out on the subway. She's kind of having an identity crisis. So she's just out there like screaming, you just stuff, telling people that the subway, she's trying to earn money at the subway by telling them that the subway's not here yet. And then that part got me a part in a full length play that he did. I loved the part. And so I've realized theater for me, I love it because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end every time you do it. There's no starting in the middle, shooting it. Yeah, I love film and TV too for the reasons that they're film and TV, but there is something very cathartic about having a beginning and a middle and an end when you're starting that from the go. And once you're on stage, there's no turning back. You just go. I love that experience of it. I haven't. I would say the biggest thing I've done, as far as anybody would know by name, I played a court reporter in The Good Wife, and I was in the scene. It got cut. My part got cut, but it was the scene with Juliana Margulies, the whole cast. Back even when his name's all of them were. It was the second season, and Michael J. Fox was on the show, and that was really, really cool to watch him. Because it was at the end of the day, he worked a 9-10 hour day, and he was still going. It was very inspirational. So to see him, in spite of what he's going through, to just keep doing it and doing what he loves, and that was really cool.
No, absolutely. Now, with the last 4 minutes left of the show, it's your time. Was there anything you want to talk about? Are you on social media?
Yeah, I would love to talk about the foundation I'm involved in. I'm involved with a foundation called the United Intentions Foundation, and it's all about how your thoughts create your reality. And if we can retrain our thoughts, we can retrain our reality, or we can change our reality, because basically our subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and not reality. And so I was originally interviewed by them over a year ago when I was going to do a series, and then I came back to Atlanta and they asked me to get more involved, and I asked them, could I have my own spot, because they do a lot of their self-promoting through Blog Talk Radio through their Good Intentions show, and so they gave me my own show called The Manifesting Hour, and it's on every Tuesday right now, 5 to 6. Some Tuesdays I would say if it's a 4-week month, I'm on probably 3 out of the 4 weeks, but there's always a show. And then and I'm really proud of this project because we've gone from having a one show to a 3-show network, and we're part of the United Intentions Radio Network. And we've now started streaming live. We have a YouTube channel, and it's a not-for-profit. And so I love what it's about. They're about getting into the schools and teaching this to the kids in the education process. And it's just it's a very thought-provoking foundation. And it's not based on sickness. It's not based on it's not based on anything negative, trying to be positive other than your thoughts. Let's make your negative thoughts positive, and that's what can change and shift the world.
Absolutely. And if there's a way you want me to promote it, I would love to be a part of it if that's a possibility. Yeah,
sure. We'd love to have you on. And most thing is, if you go to the unitedintentions.org website, everybody that, if you want to be on my show, you have to fill out a profile and fill out some intentions. And so if you do that, let me know, and then we'll go from there.
No, definitely. After we get done with the interview, just send me the link. I'll put it in the description box.
Yep, sounds great. I'll do that. No problem.
Now, wrapping up on one. That's my phone was going off. The one hard-hitting question I'm going to ask you, we're wrapping up. I took this from Bill O'Reilly, so the spin stops here. Going on the record, when I first approached you to be on my talk show, what was your first opinion, and what was your first reaction? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now?
Well, I think honestly, I'm always flattered when someone wants me to be a part of their project. Then there's always like the hesitation, like, should I do this? And it has nothing to do with you. It's always yourself. It's always about yourself, right? So I would say my first reaction is I was flattered that you would ask me, because there's a lot of people you could ask. I know the network that you run in, the Circle people, and there's a lot of people that you could have asked. So the fact that you asked me, I was very flattered. And it's exactly what I thought it would be. Just, you're very pleasant.
No, I appreciate it. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. We're wrapping up the interview segment. I'm looking forward to part 2, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
That sounds great, Keith. I'm excited too. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.